Good afternoon, Rockville Art League. Thank you so much for joining Lisa and I for a conversation about the award-winning artwork on display as part of our Juried Members Spring Art Show. And I'm going to share the screen, and we're going to have slides of all the award winners, and we have some conversation about them. Unfortunately, our judge, Therese Capel, is not available to be with us today due to a family emergency, and our hearts go out to her, and she'll get through it, but she just is unable to join us. But she did send some comments on our top award winners. That's each category, first, second, and third, and of course, the best in show. So let me go ahead and share the slideshow, and then I'll turn it over to Lisa for some more comments. Hopefully you can see the show, Lisa. And I'm going to go ahead and start the slideshow. And here we are. So Lisa, you want to make some comments, or should I go to the next slide first?
We can start with this.
Okay.
Talk briefly about the Juried show, mainly because this Juried Spring show is one of our most beautiful shows so far. It seems that we always say that with each Juried show, but it is true. The quality of work continues to amaze us and our community, and we're very grateful for our members and to everyone who is willing to take a risk to enter a juried show. It is unfortunate that not everyone's work can be accepted. Judging is subjective, and please know that if you are entering your best work and it isn't accepted into a show, often is the case that it did not comply with the judge's vision for the show. Our seasoned artists know that their work can be juried out in one show only to receive an award in another. For those who did have work accepted into the show, you should feel very proud. And to those who were awarded prizes, congratulations. If you were able to join us on June 1st at Glenview, you may have heard these comments during the awards presentation. There were over 170 people that came through that afternoon for the reception, and it may have been hard to focus or hear the commentary from the judge. Before we get started, a reminder that you can view the entire Juried Spring Show virtually on the rockvilleartleague.org website. It's the second white button when you open the page. Once you're on the virtual show, you will see a brief description of the show, the address of Glenview, etc., followed by the judge's remarks about the show. Then scroll down to view the work in the show. If you click on a piece, you will find details about it, dimensions, medium, price, a way to inquire, or even purchase. And sometimes there's a brief description. If the piece has been awarded a prize, it's noted here as well. And if it was awarded a prize of first, second, or third, and best in show, the judge's commentary can be found on that piece. Please remember that art is best viewed in person, so please visit the gallery at Glenview Mansion weekdays, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. It's best to call Glenview Mansion before coming out. Check the website, but you may want to call to see if it's open. Sometimes it's listed as closed if there's an evening event. The show cards are posted on the virtual show as well, and that it has that information. If you haven't seen the show yet, you've got another week, and you're in for a real treat. If you've already seen it, please see it again. Bring a friend. There's plenty of parking in the galleries, uncrowded, so you can really focus on the art. And now to Pat.
So we're going to, before we get into the award-winning artwork, I'd like to share a little bit about our judge, Therese Capel. She's a friend to the Rockville Art League, and she has juried shows for us in the past. Back during the pandemic days, she did For the Love of Glenview. She judged that one. She judged Lost Found Looking Forward. She's judged The Essence of Summer. And she judged Water, Water Everywhere. And we were always impressed by the time she spent really understanding and getting a feel for the artwork. And as you'll hear in just a moment, she spends a lot of time commenting on those first, second, and third prize winners. So we were honored to get her back. Therese was equally divided to be asked to judge the show. And she says that she was inspired by the pieces, and she's been looking at them since April. And she specifically mentioned that everyone in the show deserves congratulations for their amazing work. Now, a little bit about our judge. She's an artist, a graphic designer, an illustrator, and she served on the Rockville Cultural Arts Commission and Art in Public Places Subcommittee for the past 7 years. She's originally from Washington, D.C., and she's been an involved member of the community for more than 9 years. She was from a military family, so she traveled throughout the country, but has spent time here in Rockville with us. She holds degrees from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill in drawing and printmaking, and from UNBC in graphic design. As mentioned before, she was on the Rockville Cultural Arts Commission and the Art in Public Places Permanent Works Subcommittee for the past 7 years. Again, unfortunately, she's not able to be with us today, and I know she wishes that she could. So Lisa and I are going to do a bit of a tag team and go through the awards. For those first, second, and third award winners, Therese was kind enough to prepare comments for us to read on her behalf. So the first category is oils and acrylics. And by the way, before we get into this, you may see that there are quite a number of honorable mentions. And Therese felt very strongly about that. She wanted to award those honorable mentions in addition to the first, second, and third, just because the artwork moved her so. It's an honor to be in the show, period. It's an honor to be recognized with an award. So without further ado, let's get into the oils and acrylics and the awards. First honorable mention, David Allen, 42nd Street, New York City, and that's oil on canvas. And it's beautiful. I'm not going to say that every time. They're all beautiful. Let me just go ahead and go through the rest of the honorable mentions. Next honorable mention, Penny Smith, Around the Bend, oil on linen panel. Honorable mention, Isabella Martire, Hana, and that's oil, of course. John Weber, Chair Resplendent, oil on canvas. Another John Weber honorable mention, Rest Stop, oil on canvas. Karen Latner, Drama Tween, oil on canvas. By the way, these pieces, many of them are in room 2 at the mansion in the art gallery, but there are pieces throughout the gallery and they all have the ribbons attached. Diane Weiner, Grazing, oil on linen. Look at the light, wonderful. Sharon Rankins, Plain by the Ocean, oil on canvas panel. Cindy Rivarde, Passage, oil. Mary Kosterlitz, Mother's Day, oil. Susan Sinclair Gallego, Looking for Mr. Fox. And now on to third prize.
Thank you, Patrick. I will mention one quick thing about the categories. We do have 6 of them, and the oils and acrylics were the largest category, and that Might explain why there were so many honorable mentions, and they were very outstanding. But now on to third prize, to Isabella Martire, and the judge's comment is a brilliantly done piece of photorealism. Every detail from the reflection in the subject's glasses to the shadow on the parking lot gravel is equally considered and perfectly reproduced. Thank you. Beautiful. Second prize is the Summer at the Seclusion by Patrick Sieg. It's a beautiful landscape that is perfectly balanced along the slightly angled horizon to give equal weight to the charming house to the right and the large trees to the left. The first prize goes to Hong Jin Lee for Rise High, High Rise. The judge's comment is, probably every instructor I had in art school would tell me that you don't put your entire subject matter on one side of the canvas and leave the other side blank. It never works until it does. This bold, exciting painting is unexpected and delightful. The legs of the figure take up most of the left side of the canvas and lead you from the corners to just beyond the center, where your eye is forced to see arms, face, and hair. Everything about this painting, from direction to color, draws you to the activated area. The bold painterly brushstrokes and the light color on the right side offer balance and symmetry with the white jeans. This is a lovely piece.
So let's go to our next category, also one of our larger ones, watercolors. Honorable mention, Susan Moses, Annapolis Marina. Honorable mention, San Diego, Spent. Another San Diego watercolor, honorable mention, Grandpa's Chair. Marta Legekis, Quit Your Shoving. Honorable mention. Marta Legekis, honorable mention, Sunlit.
And third prize is Dinner in Barcelona by Chris Luckman, a vibrant, impressionistic work that draws the viewer in with rich colors. The second place is Tillman Evening by Karen Norman. This serene watercolor has captured that lovely moment in the evening when the quality of light is at its most magical. First prize, Jewel Along the Rhine by Angela Lacey. This work is an example of how an eye for a scene is crucial. The artist has perfectly positioned each element to lead us through the work and force our eye to travel from the base up through the off-center alley and beyond. This narrow, shadowy alley with bikes haphazardly parked to the sides is cool and inviting. The sunlight filling up the buildings in the distance, especially along the road that is perpendicular to the alley, gives hints of what lays ahead. The textures and atmosphere of the location the artist is depicting are so well captured by the watercolor. It is an inviting, beautiful piece.
So let's move on to our next category, pastels, drawings, and prints. Honorable mention, Ellen Wood, Marshlands, and this is a pastel. Next honorable mention, Catherine Bloom, The Blue Door, also a pastel.
Third prize is Self-Portrait by Frank Yang, a finely detailed drawing with confident lines. The assertive gaze is striking. It was quite nice at the reception to see the artist standing with his piece, I will say.
And it's fair to say that he captured a very accurate representation. The likeness is great.
Second place is Market Tulips by Kathleen Tynan. A joyful explosion of color, soft pastel strokes bring these tulips to life with a vibrant color. You really must go to Glenview to see this in person. It is very vibrant and beautiful. So it's gorgeous here, but in person, you must see it. So go to Glenview. First place is Wayne by Diane Weiner. This is a wonderful and refined drawing of a nude figure. Every line, edge, and muscle has been considered in a sophisticated way. The form is rendered perfectly, and the charcoal strokes have a soft, flowing quality which captures the subtleties of flesh and skin tone. The artist worked in colors darker and lighter than the mid-range of the paper, allowing the figure to appear almost sculpted on the sheet and effectively illustrating the lights and shadows that fall across this model. This is an exceptional image.
Let's go to our next category, which is the mixed media collage experimental grouping. Honorable mention, Harriet Gordon, Happy Sticks. Next honorable mention, Joanne Ahrens, Joyful Landscape. Honorable mention, Helga Serengulian, The Fox and the Sour Grapes. Terry Pelmar, Plugged In, Digital Art Fractals. And I'll have to talk to her and get a definition of fractals, but it's a beautiful piece. Beth Stenson, Black Eyed Susan, Mixed Media.
The third prize is Cyclamen by Joanne Leota Ahrens. It's a mixed media piece. Very nice. Second prize is Morning Glow in Brooklyn by Lily Kack. This piece is full of character and color. The slightly tilted perspective of the buildings gives a whimsical feel that is delightful. And the first prize in mixed media goes to Marita Gebhardt for A Spring in My Step. This piece is bursting with color. It is joyful and active with vibrant reds, pinks, and blues in the background, playing against the greens of the leaves and the stems. There are areas of loosely applied paint, paint rings that read as bubbles, and tulip images that all combined provide a layered tactile experience. The canvas appears broken into thirds with the bottom left corner darker, providing a base and balance. As well, the strong vertical stripes in the background work perfectly with the rising stems and framing of the flowers. This piece is complex and playful.
So let's go to our next category, which is sculpture and ceramics. Honorable mention, Nancy Jakubowski, Mother Owl. It's done in clay. Next honorable mention, A. Barry Bellman, Embrace 2, terracotta with patina.
Third place is Hoysala Emblem, Symbol of Courage by Vinay Kalachar. This piece creates an impression with its well-crafted subject matter and intricate detailing. Second place is Revolving by Renee Lachman. The intertwined tactile branches of this piece offer intriguing and endless interpretations. This piece is made out of aluminum. And the first place is Yin and Yang by Barbara Mima. The lovely pale green tones with brown and orange color, veins of the alabaster, provide a perfect medium to this elegant or organic form. The smoothness and simplicity of the curves show an appreciation for the subject matter and the stonework mastery of the artist. The interplay of opposites, positive and negative, smoothness and roughness, perfectly supports the concept of interaction, balance, and separate parts forming a complementary whole. Please see this piece in person. It's sitting in the window and the light on it is glorious. Beautiful.
Final category is photographs. Honorable mention, Cecilia M. Lauren Doe, Out for a Stroll. Honorable mention, Stephanie Banks, Painted Lady.
Third place is Monterosso Transport by Cecilia M. Laurendeau. This image shows the very successful use of repetition and the highlighting of color. There is a serene rhythm to the boat coverings. And second prize is Flight. I'm sorry for 1 second. Just 1 minute. Yes. The notes on this are a flawlessly captured moment in time with the pelican centered in the image. The entire image seems to center entirely around the bird's mesmerizing eye. And the first prize is Shootout by Chris Kern. This image is complex with many layers to take in. The two photographers in the foreground offer a focal point and make us consider the very act of taking a photo, as well as the image being captured on film. The costume figures in the center appear to be unrelated to the photographers since neither photographer is focused on them. And they force us to consider the concept of what we choose to include in an image and why. The very back layer is a beautiful architectural feature that is framed perfectly by the camera's lens. The many layers stacked into this complex image offer so many questions. The use of black and white perfectly supports the subject matter by making the viewer consider only the shapes, forms, and subject matter.
And now we move on to the Best in Show.
And for the Best in Show, we have My Father's Key by Karen Norman. This elegant piece is striking in so many ways. It is clear to me that the artist spent many hours considering their subject and paying attention to those tiny elements that make a work come to life. The color and details are soft and handled with a delicate hand. The smoothness of the apricots, the stitching on the quilted floral placemat, and the metal texture of the key all serve to give the viewer a sense of the material of each item. As well, the masterful handling of the bowl and the reflection of life onto the tablecloth and the distorted view of apricots underneath are details that are delightful. The composition is well thought out and provides balance and visual flow. The artist not only has complete control of their medium, they have also gone beyond and created a piece that speaks on so many levels: color, composition, and an instinct for the texture of each object they chose to add to their still life all elevate this piece. Congratulations. And congratulations to all the artists in the show and to these award winners. And we thank Therese Capel for all her work in creating such an amazing show for the Rockville Art League. Again, I can't stress enough to please go to Glenview and see this in person and see it again. Got one more week. So
Lisa and I have the pleasure of going over to the mansion, to meet artists and to speak with the staff there. And personally, every time we go, I discover something new about the artwork, not just the award winners, but all the artwork. And I'd be remiss if I didn't thank Lisa for the placement of the art, which is, talent and art in itself. It's a beautiful show. Lisa, any final comments?
except to go see it, and thank you for supporting the arts and your fellow artists.